Hey everyone, wanted to show you something I've kind of been experimenting with over the last couple days. Been watching a few YouTube videos about baking when you're camping or backpacking on the trail, specifically baking with an alcohol stove. So I was able to get a little setup here that I've been messing around with, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm doing it. So we're going to be baking some Betty Crocker banana nut bread. You could do muffins or biscuits or anything with this method. Real quick on what I'm using here. This below me is my Liberty Mountain West Wind stove with the Trangia burner. This is the pot that I'm going to be using as my oven, basically. I was able to find this at a thrift store for a steal of a deal, but you could use any aluminum or stainless steel pot and make your own setup pretty easily. You could probably do titanium for this method, but I wouldn't recommend it because this, what I'm going to show you guys is dry baking as opposed to steam baking. I've seen both videos done here. And so this one's actually not going to have any water at the bottom. So the pot's going to be on the direct flame with nothing underneath it. So if you have a titanium pot, it might warp the bottom. So they're expensive and you wouldn't want to ruin it. So it's worth just seeing if you can find a cheap aluminum or stainless steel pot at a thrift store or Goodwill or something like that. This one I was actually lucky to find. It's actually designed for baking. I don't know if you can read this here. It says it's by Crock-Pot Bread and Cake Bake. So it's just an aluminum pot. It has a top here that has some holes cut in it, which you need to let the steam out when you're baking things. This is a little pie tray that you can just buy these in bulk at the grocery store or Walmart, wherever. And then the key that makes it for baking is it has this little grill that sits inside, like so. If you were making one yourself, you can easily make something out of hardware cloth or something, or even I've seen guys use rocks in the bottom of their pot to do that. But the reason you need that is to keep this pie tin off the bottom of the pot. If it's down there, the direct heat's going to go right to it. It's going to burn the bottom. This holds it up and makes it work really just like your oven in your kitchen. It's just like this would be like your oven rack. You put the food on it, the pot basically becomes the oven walls. So I'm going to go ahead and get the batter and everything poured in, get the stove fueled up, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. We're ready to go here. I'm going to go ahead and light the stove just because it's good to give it some time to get heated up. I'll show you why in a second. But here's my pie tin with my batter in it, the banana nut bread. It's about halfway full. The directions say to do 2/3 full. I found if you do it a little less than that, it just kind of cuts the cooking time down a little bit. While the stove's heating up, one thing I forgot to mention, definitely if you're going to do this, make sure obviously you're not doing this with a coated pot. It'll burn the Teflon off. You just want plain stainless steel or plain aluminum or plain titanium if you don't mind if the bottom warps a little bit on you. So the stove's getting heated up there, and what we'll do is we don't need the stove going full blast, so I'm going to set the simmer ring to about there. I don't know, it's about a halfway flame, something like that. That'll help conserve fuel. I found that to do something about this size takes about 3 ounces of fuel, basically the Trangia filled up to capacity to get it to go. So all we're going to do is just take the pie tin and just got our grill in there, which I don't know if I showed earlier, but this grill holds it up like well over an inch. You wouldn't need it to be that high. You just need it a little bit separated from the bottom. An inch is good, but you could probably get away with a ½ inch, I would imagine, just so that the bottom of your tin inside here isn't touching the bottom here, so you get some more even heat transfer that way. So there's that. I've got my lid here, the vents. This one kind of has a little spin it and lock it on there so I can pick it up. It doesn't have a handle on it. But we're still waiting for the Trangia to bloom. I've got it like filled as full as it can almost with fuel, so it's going to take it some time to heat up. I'll go ahead and cut this out and come back when we're ready to go. Alright, we still haven't bloomed yet, but I realize I'm kind of just wasting time anyway. I'm going to go ahead and set the pot on there, just because the Trangia flame's not full blast anyway. Once the flame gets up to a full bloom, I'll drop the simmering on. I guess right now, since I just put it on, we'll note the time. It is 6:27, so we'll get an idea of how long it takes this whole process to go. Alright, it's only been a couple minutes, but the flame's going pretty strong now, so Go ahead and drop our simmer ring on. And now we just let it sit and check it every now and then. Make sure it's done. Alright, it's now 6:47, so that's been 20 minutes. I'm going to detach from the tripod here and we'll take a check on it here. Getting there. I'm sure it's not done in the middle, but we're starting to get a little crispiness on the top. Try not to let too much of that heat out. So, 20 minutes in, we're almost there. We'll be back when we're all done. Okay, 6:52, so it's been cooking for 25 minutes. I've got a nail here I use as kind of a tester to see if it's done. Obviously, if you're in the woods, just use a twig or something. I'm just going to poke it in the middle there. And yeah, as you can see, still got plenty of dough on it there, so it's still got a ways to go. Alright, 7:02, so we've been cooking for 35 minutes. We'll do another test here. Yep, came out clean. That means it's all done. I'll get you guys in here to have a look at it. So, yeah, there we go. Let's go get it inside and pop it out. Alright, got it inside the kitchen here. We can get ready to get it out. So one thing I didn't show you guys, but I checked, my Trangia was just on its last little bit of fuel. So that's what I was saying, if you don't fill the pie tin up as much, then you don't have to refuel midway through, which is a bit of a pain. So anyway, you see that then? Pretty nice little crisp on the top. But I'm just gonna kind of dump this out of here, set that to the side, and yeah. So there is my mega muffin. Definitely a muffin for two, but looks great. The benefit of this dry baking method is you get this caramelization, nice little crispy outside. The steam baking, it'll get it cooked all the way through, you know, it'll be fluffy like this, but you'll never get the crispiness on it. So there's kind of pros and cons to each way. For me, if I'm going to go through the effort of baking when I'm out camping, I'll go ahead and use this method just because I have a setup that works really well for it, and then, you know, I get to enjoy a muffin or biscuit or pancake, whatever it may be, that tastes exactly, or you know, it's cooked the same way it would be in the oven as opposed to the steam method. The advantage of the steam method is that you could do it, you could definitely do it in a titanium pot. You could probably even do it in a coated pot. You just make sure you keep enough water in there, because it's just basically the steam is cooking it, so it's going to be cooking at around 212 degrees depending on where you're at, whereas this, I didn't stick a thermometer inside, but it certainly gets up pretty piping hot. So the last thing, we'll show you guys the inside here. Show you that it's definitely cooked all the way through, nice and fluffy. So I'm going to enjoy this, but just thought you guys might be interested in that if you ever wanted to give a try to bacon out in the backcountry. So thanks for watching, have a great night.